What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill. Jay Mill, if you like. So let's get into it. Before we get into breaking down these Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys, some sad news today coming out of Cowboys Nation. CeeDee Lamb is out for the remainder of the season. I know the season's only 2 games left, but he was having a great year. I was also enjoying the way that he continued to fight and continued to play, no matter what. If the Cowboys were in it, if they were out of it, he was one of those consistent presence on the team that just made sure that he was out there playing hard, giving his team a chance to win, fighting. So for anybody who wants to talk about CeeDee Lamb's body language or kind of the way he conducts himself on the field, I think he acquitted himself very well this season. And so I'm just sad to see that he's not going to finish these last couple of games. He's still going to finish with a ton of catches, a good amount of yards, some touchdowns, all around a good season. I think he proved he was worth that contract extension. And hopefully he gets to hit the offseason with the ground running and hopefully comes back strong next year and helps us springboard to a much better season than this season. But today we're going to get into the Eagles against the Cowboys, the Eagles offense against Cowboys defense. This is going to be a lot different than when the Eagles played the Cowboys last time, so I tried to make sure to go pluck specific plays from the Eagles last week because as we see here, before we even get into the play, you can see that it's number 7 here. And number 7 is Kenny Pickett. It looks like Jalen Hurts is not going to be playing this week. He's still in concussion protocol. Doesn't look like he's going to make it out in enough time for Sunday's game. Excuse me, guys. So you're going to end up with Kenny Pickett here getting the start. There's not a lot of data on Kenny Pickett, especially with data with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there's some with his Pittsburgh Steelers stuff, but the Eagles run a completely different offense than the Pittsburgh Steelers ran when Kenny Pickett was there, so that data is not necessarily helpful. So we'll try to take a look at a handful of plays from last week and see if we can deduce what the Philadelphia Eagles will try to do. So before I get to hitting the start button on this play, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're almost there. We're at 44 subscribers. When we get to 50, give away something Cowboys-centric for you guys. But here we go. So the Philadelphia Eagles have come out. They got their 5 down wide receivers. As you see, they got a tight end lined up close to the line of scrimmage here. And then they also have a guy going in motion. They got their wide receiver out here, Saquon's alone in the backfield. So once the guy comes in motion, we see now at the set that, boom, Washington matches it with 7 guys in the box. So they're kind of trying to play a little bit of coverage, but also a little bit of run defense. They're trying to, hopefully for them, cover up everything. So let's see how it goes. All right, so boom. You see the silent count here, which I must tell you, I've never seen this before, right? Usually when it's a silent count, you get the typical guard here, and what he does is he kind of shoots his hand out in front of him, and then the center snaps it. But we get some new here from the Eagles. Boom, smacks him on his leg. He snaps the ball. So on the snap of the ball, with Saquon's getting in, you see the Eagles have some good blocking here this way. See the tight end coming around to clear the hole. You got this guy hair blocked, this guy hair blocked. Somebody needs to come off and block this guy, but let's see what happens. So Saquon is doing a great job of following his guy to and through the hole, right? Good vision here. Boom. Great block by that guy to spring Saquon. Now Saquon should be looking to cut this straight up, maybe even a little towards the inside here and run away from these guys. But he gets a little bit hung up on what's going on, and that allows the Commanders to get a tackle, get him down at the line of scrimmage, and keep it to a manageable play. I mean, that was still 11 yards by Saquon Barkley. This is going to be what the Cowboys' most pressing issue is going to be, is playing defense against Saquon Barkley. Saquon's a beast. He knows exactly what you're going to do against him. He's been in the league long enough now. He has great vision. And with the Eagles, he has a much better offense, much better blocking. So let's take a look. So the Cowboys are going to have to kind of do something similar, or see something similar to what they saw against Tampa Bay. So As you see the Bucks here, boom, they send the guy in motion, right? But the difference is they don't have a tight end over on one side, right? So the Eagles kept the tight end over on this side, and they kind of motioned somebody over. The Cowboys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 guys in the box as well right now. Safety's playing a little deeper. So let's see what happens. So Tampa getting ready. And on the snap of the ball, they send the tight end back in motion, right? Boom. So they try to keep a late motion. So when Philadelphia sent their tight end in motion, they got him all the way over there. They let him set. And then on the snap of the ball, that tight end pulled over here and was the lead blocker for Saquon. So Tampa does a little bit something different, but this is the closest thing that I could find, especially with Kenny Pickett being in the lineup here. So boom. And now you got a fullback. Dallas actually is in a bad position here, right? Because you got a good block here, block. So Bucky Irving can bounce this outside and leave it up to the safety to come up and make the tackle. But as you see here, Chauncey Golston defeats that left tackle block. He's been playing so well this year. So proud of Golston to finally get his chance to show what he's fully made of, and he's taking complete advantage of it. It's so nice to see how he's playing, and here was a great example. And because of that, boom, he gets him to the ground. Other guys are there to help. This is kind of how it has to be against Saquon Barkley to prevent those 11-yard gains, 8-yard gains, 10-yard gains. If the Cowboys wanted to get off the field at a decent amount of time and not necessarily allow someone like Saquon to take over the game, this is how they have to be. This is lane integrity, this is gap integrity, and play your assignment sound. All right, so let's go again. Now this one, this is the biggest worry for me going into this game as a Cowboys fan, right? So boom, once again, very similar formation from Saquon, right? And the Eagles, they got the tight end here, so they didn't wait to motion him over. They already have him here. Once again, you have Kenny Pickett lined up in the pistol, right? Washington matches of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they have 7 guys here. So that's decent. It's not a light box. It's not a heavy box. It's just decent. So Kenny Pickett looks here to be changing the play, right? He's going up to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't like what he sees. He's changing a little bit, audible into the other play that the coach has brought in. So now everybody's calling out their different assignments here. All right, you get this guy, you get this guy. Now everybody's back lined up, right? Washington does nothing to change what they were going to do. So Kenny Pickett came out and saw something and changed things based on what he saw. And the commander said, we're not changing ish. We're going to be exactly where we were when you first saw us and changed everything. So let's see how that works out for him. Boom, smacking the leg again, play starts. All right, so now this is where the problems are already starting for the Commanders, right? Because you got this guy pulling here and you got this guy pulling here. You already got this guy sealing off here. This guy seems to be good. This guy is good. So let's see. So now, Saquon doesn't even have the ball yet, but this looks like a problem. Boom. So that guy's got him. There's no chance there. These guys have a wall sealed off. This guy's here. You got a lead blocker who's probably going to come up here and try to reach that guy. Let's see what happens. He comes around. Boom. He does. He reaches that guy. He already seals that guy. This is what we call the alleyway, right? The alleyway is there. So now Saquon is foot in the ground, and he is gone. Gone. I don't even think he was touched on this entire play. Just marvel at it. Because if we don't play proper defense, that's exactly what we're going to see this week coming up. So, nobody touched him. Nobody filled the gap. It was a nice pin and pull. They pulled the guys. They pinned down the other guys. They created an alleyway. The lineman and the fullback or / tight end got out there. Both of those guys sealed those guys off. And then Saquon was just able to use his talent to make the rest of the play move. Nobody got to touch him. End zone, house call, 70-yard touchdown. And honestly, Saquon's only other great run of the day was the other one that we saw, the 11-yard run. He didn't have another run over 5 yards for the rest of the game. But on 2 plays, he got 77 yards and a touchdown and broke your back. So the Cowboys need to just watch this, because even if you're bottling him up all day long, all it takes is one or two plays, and all of a sudden Saquon scores a touchdown on one play and gets him into field goal range on another play, and now it's like he's responsible for 10 points, and we mostly bottle him up. So you got to be very careful with a guy like that, right? And this is what I mean. So let's take a look. It isn't the exact same play. It's not to the outside, but you're just going to take a look at how it is when you're not assignment sound, right? So boom, the fullback motions into the backfield. Cowboys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they don't have 7 guys in a box this time, right? They try to shift over now. Now they have 7 guys in a box. Donovan Wilson's your de facto third linebacker, but he's your strong safety. So let's see what Baker Mayfield does here. So it doesn't, boom, on a snap of the ball, Tampa doesn't run any motion. They run some nice action here because they hand off here. They got that jet sweep action, but as we can see, boom, block, 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 block. He's got good position to possibly get a block. He's got good position to get a block. And here's Bucky Irvin, right? So Bucky's going through. He cuts back. Wow, that guy gets a nice block there. That guy has a seal here. You have an alleyway. And you have one guy here to make the play. So Bucky gets up. Boom. That guy's not going to make the play. That guy's not able to make the play. Luckily, the guy we circled was able to make the play, because if not, that would have been a touchdown for Bucky Irving. But it's just kind of letting you see some of the similar things, like how when we watched Saquon Barkley get that alleyway, right? When we watched him get that alleyway, he was pretty much gone, right? And Bucky Irving got that alleyway. Now, luckily for the Cowboys, this guy, Micah, was able to fight off that block. He fought hard to get off of there to not make this alleyway so large. But Bucky Irvin's got some juice, man, so Micah's not able to get there. And, I mean, you got to watch this, because if that's Saquon, it's a similar situation. Except, you know, Saquon's a little bit bigger of a back, so it's a little bit more difficult to bring him down. And so now we're going to take a look at the passing game with Kenny Pickett and kind of see. Like I said, there's not a lot of data, so everything we're looking at, most of the time I'm very confident on, hey, this is what we're going to see. This is what we're going to do. The things in the running game, I'm super confident that this is what we're going to see from the Philadelphia Eagles. As far as here in the passing game, not so much as confident, because it could be a little bit different from week to week once they diagnose Kenny Pickett's strengths and his weaknesses and make a game plan based on that. Right now, they're probably just trying to keep the same game plan they came into this particular game with against the Commanders and trying to have some sort of consistency. You're not trying to change the entire offense for one player, you know, when the other 10 guys on the field have been practicing this all week. What you want to try to do is you want to scale down the playbook in a situation like this, kind of see what the guy is giving you, and then throughout the course of the game, you can add in a little bit more, right? Because you already gave the whole game plan, but you're not going to throw out the whole game plan the same way you would if Jalen Hurts was out there. You're going to be like, this guy's in the game, we're going to scale it down now, and we're going to see if we can build off of some of the things that he's successful with and kind of try to call those things again, but from different looks, different formations, with different motions. Just, you know, just build the play based off of his play. So here we go. They come out. They have a shotgun formation, right? So right now you got a 3-by-1, right? The 3 receivers, even though that's a tight end, still 3 receivers by 1 receiver. You got the running back here. You got Kenny Pickett down. You got the down offensive lineman. So you got this matched up by the Commanders. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys showing up, plus this guy playing coverage here, this guy playing coverage here, tied up here, right? So because of that, show a little motion, but the Eagles kind of stick with what they had called. So on the snap of the play, boom, you have him getting a free release. This is A.J. Brown. He has a free release right here because they're bringing pressure. Now, if Kenny Pickett gets the ball out right away, he probably would have actually been good. This guy sees it, but as you can see, we're setting up something here because this guy's leaning on this guy, so that means he's about to break inside, right? Oh, sorry, I got the wrong guy. Sorry, guys. So this guy's leaning on this guy going up the field, but this guy is about to break inside. And so A.J. Brown is coming across the field, and that, because of that, we get the natural pick, right? He gets out of the way just in time to avoid the penalty, but still gets it. Now, A.J. Brown is able to catch the ball, stop, and return it upfield, right? This is the type of thing where you have to make sure you're tackling that guy right at that place, because you don't want him turning, getting upfield, and A.J. Brown is a load to tackle in the open field, right? We all know that. We all see that. We've all watched Philly games. We've all watched Cowboys games. We know A.J. Brown, open field, he's a load to tackle. So seeing him be able to stop there, turn, get going upfield, we can't have that in the game. So we need to have the Cowboys defend it more like we see them defend this play here, right? Again, not the same exact formation. You got 2 by 2. You know, you got a tight end receiver up top, 2 receivers at the bottom. Baker comes through with the snap. So on the snap of the ball, he has a good protection here. You got this guy going this way. You got this receiver coming across the middle. Tight ends going out. You got another receiver going up there, right? So Baker sees the receiver. Okay. He's coming across. It's a very short pass, but he's coming across. And Baker sees him. He makes a little move to the outside. Make sure that he can get the pass off. But what's the difference? Boom. The corner falls right off of that receiver and makes sure to hit him right away. Gets him to the ground. That's what we got to see when we're playing against A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to use some of these short passes. They're going to use some of these quick mesh routes and some of these things to get the receivers open and try to get some run after the catch, right? They're also going to run a lot of comeback routes. Honestly, when I was looking into this and looking into the whole Kenny Pickett thing, I also did notice with Devontae Smith, they ran a lot of deep comebacks, like a lot of 12-yard and turn, a lot of 15-yard and turn. So we're not only are they going to be running these mesh routes to try to get their guys open going across the field, but they're going to be running deep comebacks or intermediate comebacks to try to get their quarterback, a receiver, you know, showing himself wide open and being able to get some of the timing down to make the throws easy for Kenny Pickett. So I do think as long as the Cowboys play like they were playing here against Tampa and get some of this driving on the ball, hitting hard, getting the ball carrier to the ground, you know, making sure to stretch Saquon Barkley out and maintain gap integrity when you get a hit on him. Even if you don't bring him down to the ground, your job is to hold him up for a few minutes, let the reinforcements get there, gang tackle, 11 hats to the ball, all the good cliches that you hear on defense. That's what we need to see this Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. And tomorrow we'll get into the Cowboys offense against the Eagles defense. That'll be a little bit more familiar of a matchup. The last time the Eagles played Cooper Rush, it was his first game playing in a long time, and he'll probably be a lot better at reading defenses and completing balls in this game than he was in the first game. So we'll get to see a little bit of that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can hit me up on Twitter at jmilleriyl. You can also hit me up via email, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, that's knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. You can leave comments below, any questions that you have, anything specific that you want me to cover. I'll take them here. I'll take them via Twitter. I'll take them via email, throw them into a mailbag, make it a formal segment. But like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're almost there. We're almost to 50 subscribers. When we do, like I said, Cowboys-centric giveaway. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys so much. Until next time, I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill, if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.